Hey everybody, it's Matt. I just wanted to let you know that we lowered the price on our Patreon, so if you'd like to listen to our bonus episodes, you can now do so for only $2 a month. You'll get 2 episodes for $2, and that's patreon.com/madeupmoviespod. You can also find the link on our Twitter, which is at madeupmoviespod. And yeah, on our Patreon, you'll get bonus episodes where we go to the other dimension, we go to Mammoth Video, and we pick up some really rare made-up movies that you might not have heard of. There's a bunch of lore, so if you like that stuff, you're gonna love it. So check it out. Only $2. It's a pretty good deal. All right, bye. Y'all hear that?
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I am your host, Matt Shore, and with me as always is the bender to my Flexo. It's Mike Kolar.
Hey, here I am again. It's me, Bendor.
It's me, Bondor.
Bondor.
Wait a minute, Bondor? Is it really you?
Yes.
Bender's name isn't Bondor, it's Bender. This is our show where we make up movies. Well, actually, you make up the movies and we review the made up movies that you send us. But basically, if you have an idea for a fake movie that you would like us to review on this show, send it to us at Made Up Movies Podcast on Twitter. How's it going, Michael? How's it
pretty
going,
good.
Michael?
Just thinking about just having a good day. How about you there, Matthew?
Wow, you sound really enthusiastic.
I'm really
authentically.
enthusiastic today.
That's
no
crazy.
reason, just
Stop
feeling
it.
good.
Stop it. You're bothering
turn
me.
it off.
Ugh.
Nah, I'm not gonna turn it off. Too enthusiastic.
All right. Well, I did a little extra homework this past week because
We have homework on this show.
I know we don't normally.
So I'm failing.
Yeah. the theory of this show after a very the behind the scenes is we used to do a podcast called Bunker Brothers. You should check out. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. It's like an audio drama that's very funny. It's like our sense of humor mixed with It's Always Sunny in terms of craziness. And it was crazy to produce with all the guests and sound effects and all the audio spaces we had to create. All the bits, and we had to write premises and get celebrities on the show, like people from The Simpsons and from the world of video games, and Laura Harrison.
Elon Musk was there.
Well, no,
Gilda Radner, Chris Farley was on the show.
I don't think you should.
All the greats.
All the greats. So now our theory on this show is to do as little work as possible. That's why we ask you to send in the fake ideas. But, we still do our bonus episodes on Patreon where we we discover the craziest movies we can find in the alternate dimension. Those episodes are available if you sub on Patreon for only $2. So that's a pretty good deal. We got, I think, 6 of them up right now. And a couple days ago, we discovered a character who immediately became a fan favorite. And by fan favorite, I mean we, the hosts, like him the best.
Who's the biggest fan but ourselves when you think about it?
Who's the giant potato who's a friend to you and me? It's Professor Potato.
Yeah!
So we did an episode called Professor Potato's Wandering Wondernarium, and this came from
Wandering Wondrous Wondernarium. Get it right or pay the price.
It's hard. Kolar has a tendency to find movies that have incredibly long titles that are hard to remember.
Sometimes movies have long names. It's fun.
Yeah. Not often, but yeah, sure. Sometimes
a lot of time. A lot
of the times they do. So, what I thought was, Professor Potato's pretty cool, and we all love him, right?
Yeah.
And if you'd like to get more information about him, check out the Patreon episode, Professor Potato's Wondrous Wandering Wondernarium of Fun.
Thank you.
From Hell.
No?
From Hell.
From
right?
Hell. From Hell.
That's even you forgot that.
I forgot my own movie title.
You put he put an ellipsis with 4 dots in it as a reference to Neil Breen. It's really deep into our lore at this point. But Professor Potato, if you don't know, is sort of a He's a potato who kind of looks like Mr. Peanut. He's like an anthropomorphized, like, talking tuber with legs and arms. And he's eccentric to like a Adventure Time lemon grab extent where he's just
he's chaotic evil too. He's very much chaotic evil.
Yeah, he thinks he's a smart guy who loves to help the children, but he's actually not very kind at all, and often sentences people to death. So in the episode, he adopts many orphans, but if they break his rules, there are very harsh punishments.
His ever-changing rules. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, the rules don't make a lot of sense.
As if being an orphan wasn't hard enough, you know?
So I decided I couldn't get this guy out of my head, almost like he was controlling me from the inside.
Yes.
And so I decided I would write a little theme song about him that I'm going to premiere for you guys right now.
I'm hard as a rock right now. I'm so excited. I've never been...
I'm hard as a 6-week-old potato right now.
Not to be too enthusiastic, but I could.
I like it. I like your enthusiasm. So here we go. I'm gonna try it out here. I'm gonna sing it live, so there might be some blips and bloops, but here we go. Hear that? That's the sound of music making. So get ready for this. So you have to imagine a giant potato wearing like a top hat or a fanciful Cat in the hat singing this tune. Maybe he's wearing a monocle too. That's very important. Please come with me, my little friends, to a wandering wondernarium where excitement never ends. Oh, won't you please just take my hands? You will never be in danger if you follow my commands. Oh, I'm Professor Potatio. Potatio, don't you want to join the show? Oh, I'm Professor Potatio, Potatio delay. The outside world is fraught with danger, bloodthirsty beasts and marauding strangers. Inside my walls, you will always be at home, protected by my dogs, who love to chew on bones. Oh, I'm Professor Potatio. Potatio, don't you want to join the show? Oh, I'm Professor Potatio, Potatio delay. And that's all I had.
You can't see it right now, but I'm giving a standing ovation. And there is a single tear in my eye. That was wonderful. I'm so happy right now. That makes me I'm glad that he's taken over your mind and infested your thoughts enough to sing
really
a song.
He really has. I can't stop thinking about him. My goal is to expand the song so at one point he does a mid-90s white guy rap about himself that rhymes I'm a giant tuber with has a mansion like an Uber because it can move. But that's for later. That's going to be a Patreon exclusive to hear me. It's like, I'm Professor Potato and I'm here to say I'm a real cool potato in a real cool way. Like
it's
the idea
nice
that
when
like
art inspires other art. You know what I mean?
Right. This is like my version of like throwing clam chowder on the Mona Lisa to prevent potato change or something. What were they protesting? Successful protest is when you don't know what they were trying to accomplish. They were gluing.
It's an inside job. It's an oil baron doing it.
I'm gluing myself to the wandering wondernarium. That's
a terrible idea. You're gonna get shredded.
Yeah, dogs, and I just
get shredded
by dogs
immediately.
Wow, they love to lick the glue. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's either gonna work really well or not at all.
So that's the theme song. Write in with your own potential couplets and lyrics at Made Up Movies.
I mean, that's a song that could go on forever.
Yeah, unfortunately, it really could. You could make a lot of lyrics about.
It's like a Bob Dylan song. He just keeps coming up with verses.
It's like we should do an Alice's Restaurant where it's just 20 minutes of that.
Yeah, it's just Alice's Restaurant. I'd listen to it. I'd listen to every verse. I love it. I love it so much.
If you're a musician, do a remix or create your own version of it in operatic style. Maybe I'll ask my opera singer friend to sing it. That would be insane.
Is Beck gonna sue you for saying Odelay?
I'm Professor Potato. Professor Odelay.
I don't know if you can say Odelay legally.
I said Yodelay, so it's actually
Yodelay. Okay,
which,
okay.
You know what? Because I wasted so much time on doing that song this week, I actually picked out a movie for us in advance, and what you just said about ripping people off might actually come in handy. Here, let me get it. Put it in my sack of tricks. I'm not becoming
tricks.
I'm not becoming Professor Potato.
Professor Potato had a sack of tricks too, and they were never
no. Dogs. Sorry, that's something in my throat.
Thumbtacks and bleeding bugs.
Yeah, it's the bleeding bugs. It's not their blood, but they can't stop either.
They're just covered in it though. Where's it come from?
So we got here. It's not written on a traditional ball. It's actually a slab of child-sized beef.
Okay, that's odd.
Yeah, but it's number 666, and this one comes from our friends Two Idiots and a Dog. This one is called Twad. I call them Twad. And this movie is called Sorcery: The Grouping.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a Magic the Gathering movie, but they lost the rights before production finished and had to change everything to be legally distinct. So that's why it reminded me of Yodelay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so apparently they had to do a lot of last-minute changes right as they were going into production, so it's sort of an odd film. But let's put on our magic movie goggles and watch them.
Were you keeping mine in the bag? Why is it covered in...
That's, I wanted the insects to get a sense of it so they knew not to attack it, although some of them are chittering right now and sort of climbing all over.
Where I can't, I hear them inside of here, but I can't place them. They're
if you feel anything in your ears, remain perfectly still, as any movement or exhaling will trigger the insects into a zoomer-like rage, and they will destroy you. They don't bite, but they do have Twitter accounts, and it's anything goes on there nowadays. So
yeah, it's
welcome
Wild
to hell,
West.
kid.
Elon Musk, coolest guy ever. I'm gonna put
What a hero! What a hero!
Wow, what a hero! Such a cool guy. All right, anyway,
can we talk about that for a second? Because we talk about Elon a lot on the show and making fun of him, but he got into that fight with AOC, and I want to be on AOC's side, but what she said didn't make a lot of sense either. It was confusing. She was like,
I'm still I don't know what she said. I only know the Stephen King thing.
She's like, who? It's like she's like $8 a month to pay for free speech. No thanks, or something like that. And I was like, well, the blue check doesn't give you free speech. It didn't make perfect sense what she was trying to say. But it's still become a blue versus red clapback thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Twitter is pretty much just a cesspool. Anyway, follow us on Twitter though.
I'm just glad is it perfect, or is it wrong that the CEO of Twitter is now represents what a cesspool it is? If a troll
maybe it's true. I guess it's it's
poetically
what it is
makes
supposed
sense.
To be. Yeah.
It's like some sort of Simpsons, he's a microcosm of the disease kind of thing, as a metaphor, but I don't think functionally in the real world that's already really fucked up. I don't think it's a great thing. Anyway, put on your bug hat and let's do this. Okay, I'm going to.
Okay, they all just moved.
Don't. Like I said, don't. Your eyes were twitching there, so don't do that. All right, and flick. Oh, mine feels so nice right now.
They're
It's like
humming the
bell.
potato theme. They're humming the song you just sang into my ears.
Oh, yeah, I can hear them biting. So, okay, that's enough of that. And
those legal
that was
issues
just-
were very apparent.
it seemed like this movie would have a lot of problems even if there weren't legal issues.
Yeah.
I will say
right.
that. They seem to have for a movie about a card game, they seem to have a very hard time cutting cards that were all the same size. And so a lot of the times the cards, when they stacked them, some were spherical and some were like throwing star shaped, and they weren't used as weapons. I mean, they were in terms of like magical stuff coming out of them in a Magic the Gathering style, but like they didn't throw. It just felt like whoever was prop master on this movie.
Well, they
like,
probably, the prop master probably got a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards, and then it's like, wait, we can't use these. You got to get new props, and we need them now.
Right. So they spent like they had like
They went to
3 months
Kinko's,
of
which
movie
doesn't even
prep
exist
and then
anymore.
they just they didn't. Yeah, this movie feels like it came out in 1997, and it seemed to have the special effects budget. Well, I mean, again, this is probably the result of them spending a bunch of money in pre-production that they had to just like thrash and destroy, because it seemed like they used the same special effects as the Ghost Rider show on PBS for a lot of the magic, just like sparkle motion, like weird, like the kind of video you would get at a mall to like
It was
Flanders
similar to The Wiz. Or Wiz was that movie with where he goes to play Nintendo? Like it was very much.
The Wizard. I thought you meant
Wizard,
like the Black Wizard of Oz, the Wiz.
No.
For a second,
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking-
yeah, it was like the Wiz. It was like all those
Wait a minute,
great
no, it wasn't.
Professor Potato style raps in the middle. That was awesome. I'm a tuba with a house like an Uber, y'all. And then you can just imagine Professor Potato breakdancing and doing like a spin move and posing. I mean,
always
it's
do.
so,
That's how I always.
he's so
imagine.
beautiful. I sure
He's
am.
beautiful.
Who's
talking? Which one of you is talking?
I didn't hear anything in the last 15 seconds that I said.
It
Although
was
I
like...
do know that I said it. Question mark.
Question. Who are you talking?
Let's
you
stay on
writing? Are
topic,
you
shall
writing
we?
right
You can't see it, but I'm petting Kolar's head. I'm just rubbing it gently. But I'm rubbing it a little too hard, so I'm like creating a bald spot and pulling hair out.
It was already there. It was already there.
Hey, good news on the baldness front. Did you see the Japanese are almost close to curing baldness? Another reason to love the Japanese.
I'll believe that when I see it. They've been saying that for years. Nothing.
No, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
What did they come up with?
It's like some sort of like
some sort of something you rub on, maybe.
It's
a pill you take.
It's sort of a large potato that sort of rubs its hands gently on your scalp with its trademark insect blood solution. I think why don't we try some now?
It's just insect blood.
Sorry,
It's just insect blood. I hope it works out, but I don't believe it. I don't.
It's coming. Don't steal. Don't yuck.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder.
Don't
I'm just saying,
my
like,
yum.
it's
Don't
like,
yuck
well, it's like cancer's going to be cured in 20 years.
I don't care about that. I'm like the pterodactyl.
I'm like a very beautiful headed hair man.
I want to have
of
tumors
cancer.
all over my body that are covered in beautiful hair. Honestly, if it was like, it'll give you brain cancer, but the brain cancer will cause you to grow hair. I was like, it's a fair trade-off. I mean,
yeah. I get it.
Gotta look good for the ladies, and ladies love hair. So
the pill that you do take, the trade off is your wiener doesn't work. That's a fun one.
It doesn't matter. It's about extra. It's about validation on TikTok, not on OnlyFans.
TikTok? Is that where we're getting validation now? I wasn't aware.
I guess whatever. I mean, can't get it from Twitter anymore because it's just people paying to say the N-word.
Are we going to get a check mark? Did you pay for the check mark yet? Because we should get.
I went on to Scams. They said that they had a
scams.com.
Scams.com. And to see if they had any, cheaper version of it. And so I gave them the royalties to my Professor Potato song. Any money that it earns, they will put towards what they said, sort of like a loyalty fund. Okay. So it's like loyalties for royalties. So they said the check mark. will come in the mail. Yeah, that's what they said. They're like, it rhymes, so it must be true.
It seems like you were scamming each other almost. It's sort of like there's a sort of a mutual scam going on there, which is nice.
Well, they've already licensed. I actually have to pay them for the usage of the song on our podcast.
Oh, really?
So,
it's like a loan company. You owe them so much.
Even when the bugs sing it, I have to pay them a little bit of extra.
How much do we have to pay them every time there's references to
guys.
the Patreon?
You have to get the bugs
meta jokes and inside jokes.
You have to get the bugs to stop saying it, because if the bugs keep saying it, I have to pay every single time.
Well, the bugs are sort of controlling me at this point, so it's like,
guys, stop.
I keep blacking out a little bit. So
there's literally what looks to be a giant lightning bug. It's just sticking its head out of your nostril and like dancing to the beat when they sing.
Oh yeah, he's the one. He's the leader, I think. But who isn't the leader these days?
Yeah, you're right. Everything's fine. So this movie, it had a lot of legal troubles. There's clearly props. There's a lot of boom mics falling into frame. The main idea...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Or one of the main ideas of this movie is that if you're unfamiliar with Magic the Gathering, it's like a battling card game where you use different like monsters and effect abilities to basically slap. It's like a game of war, only there are like Dungeons and Dragons style monsters.
Right. You have a pool of 20 mana, and that because I played this game. I played this game as a kid.
Right. Yeah. You as a
young
lonely
boy.
child would play this against yourself.
Okay, first of all, I played it with my cousin and my uncle. I didn't play it by myself. And
my god, your cousin's so hot.
Flipper? The boy cousin.
No. Well, I mean, sure. Sure, strong. If he's listening, he's a stud.
He is a strong boy. he's a strong boy. He's boy.
Built like a Mack truck. That one with the horse cock that could make Catherine the Great blush.
He's built like a skinny heroin addict who's kind of buff. It's weird.
Did you just get jealous of me complimenting your cousin? So
he's so handsome.
You had to pull
it's not his fault. He's a handsome doctor.
It's not his fault. Yeah, it's like every cousin. Every cousin's attractive, right? That's why we moved to Shelby.
We all love cousins. We all love our cousins. What did you say?
I thought that was the whole point.
But no, you have a pool of 20 mana, and then... But the difference is the cards didn't necessarily come to life and produce beasts like Yu-Gi-Oh! Style in reality.
Right. Yeah, and it seems like they were trying to do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, because the monsters do come to life. And during battles, they're often transported to mystical lands. At one point, they're like trapped in one of the mystical lands for a while. But most of it takes place... It starts in the real world anyway. It has that like... even though it's like it feels like a 90s movie, it's like it has this like 80s level effects and like Masters of the Universe style like traveling between realms and weird stuff.
They had to dub out Magic the Gathering a bunch of times because they like the Timmy who's like the main like boys like super excited to go to the Magic of the Gathering, or sorry, what is the actual one?
Sorcery the Grouping.
I'm so excited to go Sorcery the Grouping. Like it was clearly ADR'd after the
Sorcery the Grouping, and it's just one audio file that they stuck in every time.
They
didn't even have him. They didn't even have. It seems like they didn't ever like trying to hit a release date or something, and they were like they didn't have time to.
I think Timmy's voice might have changed in between when he first was like before the movie came out, and then he ADR'd the lines later, and his voice had dropped a couple decibels.
I'm so excited for Sorcery the Grouping.
I'm Timmy. Let's get some
He also
cigarettes.
became more of a New Yorker. A Philadelphian.
It's just Chris Pratt doing every voice, probably. They get you that guy for everything.
Sorcery Kingdom! Here we come!
You can't see right now, but I'm doing a standing ovation and one tear is...
You were doing sorority snaps. I could hear it. Yeah, baby. The bugs in your head are clicking along, shittering.
Yeah, that wasn't my hands. That was them clicking.
Good
in unison.
But yeah, it seemed really like they do this thing where like they slap a card on the table, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Card Captors or whatever style, and the monster will appear in the air above them and like do battle. Like it looks like Gigantamaxing in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
It does.
A little bit. But like the monsters, they had to like a lot of them are like they're done in that Ghostbusters way where it's like they use a filter or like a screen or like a curtain's translucent to make them seem ghostly, but it's clearly just a puppet behind a screen that they're And these aren't like Muppet quality puppets.
No.
And that's saying something.
They looked, they were very much, I think, like all the miniatures that they used in Star Wars, like the extra miniatures from Star Wars is sort of what they look like.
It looked like someone literally got a bunch of the 70s Star Wars toys and then took a blowtorch to them so that they were just melted enough. And like some of them when they're fighting, you can see giant fingers holding them, like they didn't have time to stop motion them. And so you could just see the fingers slapping the toys together. But they also shot them individually, so when they collide, they don't actually touch physically.
They throw in a fire effect sometimes, like not necessarily like where the impact happened. Yeah.
It looks like at one point someone's holding up a sparkler and waving it between them to make it look like, whoa, they're really going at it.
Look at them go. Holy moly, look at that beast go. Because it's apparently Magic the Gathering owns like, they own the word angel. They own the word like dinosaur. They own the word dragon. How do you own the word dragon? Like, how do you have the rights to dragon?
One of the reasons I picked this one is because I was looking over the list while I was, trying to brainstorm lyrics and stuff, and I did a little bit of research on this film beforehand, and they got really spooked by how much stuff that they lost so much money because like apparently like I looked at some of the original stuff and I don't know Magic the Gathering that well, but some of the creatures they had, like this looked like, I mean, it would still be a 90s movie, but like it would be a little bit more like the original Ninja Turtles movie in terms of quality, where they were actually trying to make it bring it to life sort of.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It looked like there was a lot of money that went into it, and then when they got hit with this like cease and desist, I don't understand how, but they pulled the rights from them, and so they had to scrap everything and start over. And basically, they got so skittish about saying anything that could be any licensed product.
Yeah.
That's why instead of drinking Coke in this movie, they keep saying, "I love this delicious cock," and they kept saying that over and over.
I love this delicious cock, and I was like, why do they keep saying cock?
And when they're drinking those Capri Suns, they're like, hand me a silver liquid pouch of drink.
Right.
Oh, I love this silver liquid pouch of drink.
Yeah.
It was clearly they had a bunch of product placement in the movie and it all pulled out. So
it sucks. But I don't understand why even release it at that point. I guess it must have been like
they could try to recoup some of their losses. I mean, I would imagine you try to make that back. It's like a reverse Batgirl strategy, or how a typical film is made. How bad was Batgirl that they pulled the plug, or if it still bothers me to think about it.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that nobody will ever know because it's hidden in the vault. Bruce Wayne's manor.
So Timmy Wieners is the main character in this, and he is not a cool kid. He's not popular in school. He's sort of like a little Kolar playing Magic with himself a little bit.
First of all, I told you I was playing with my doctor cousin and my lawyer uncle, who are both cool guys.
Right. But I mean, comparatively, then there was you.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but you said I was playing by myself, and I wasn't playing by myself, which makes me mad.
I mean,
I just like collecting them.
I mean, just be real with me for a second. How many cousins did you imagine when they weren't around because they were, in?
I mean, when I wasn't around, I imagined I talked to myself, and I still talk to myself. Why wouldn't I talk to myself? I got things to say.
And what does this meatball say to you? Show me on this meatball where you touched yourself.
They say you're doing a good job, Mike. Keep at it. One of these days, you're going to be a star,
lie to you.
baby.
Okay, that's crazy.
You're going to be a big star in the Big Apple.
Whoa! They said that. They talked about the Big Apple in a clear Philadelphia accent.
Yeah, it's
keeping
crazy.
That Ninja Warrior.
The voices in my head are really positive, and they're enthusiastic, and they don't tell me to kill myself.
Good. I'm glad, and I hope anyone out there has similar voices in their head.
Yeah, multiple voices telling you multiple things all at once in a loud voice. Multiple accents.
Yes,
screaming.
There's nothing wrong with that. Let's all sing along.
Screaming at you where they all just get jumbled together and you can't even make out what they're saying. That's what
Your head's vibrating again, and I don't like it.
But I didn't even really... I played it, but mostly I just like collecting the cards because I thought it was cool to like collect cards.
So you'll have to help me out this because I'm more familiar with like Pokemon and D&D and stuff. What sort of monsters were there in?
It's the same thing.
Magic the Gathering.
It's like I don't understand Magic the Gathering's rights because it's like they just like it was all things that already exist in like D&D where it's like Leviathans, elves. It's all
okay. So like generic fantasy creatures.
Yes, generic fantasy creatures. Yeah.
So, but they got really scared in their like. They described things. They'd be like, watch out for that pointy-eared paleman.
Oh no,
like,
that
what?
hulking green monster. They can't say monster. That hulking green
They can't say monster? Oh my god, they
humanoid
didn't. Yeah.
figure
and
is coming closer.
And then we have to avoid saying hulking green because you know who that's going to turn on. He's like waiting around the corner, smash trivia. He's
just
like
hears the word Hulk
there.
and he just gets a bone. Is that what happens?
He heads to the Bone Zone, which is a restaurant near him where he researches She-Hulk.
What do you need to research? What do you need to research about?
Well, research, same way I research things in the Mammoth video with their anime bathrooms.
Just like, wow, this is really meta. Huh, what a good show.
I mean, I research Bowsette a fair amount. And
research is not the word that you think it is. Research, you're just looking at pornography.
Well, I'm researching it for my grad school degree in women's studies.
I was going to say. What are you researching it for? What's the end goal of your research?
It's women's studies. I am studying women, okay? I don't think there's any way... This is what Gloria Estefan wants. She's a famous woman, right? So... I'm trying to think of major women feminists, Nancy Pelosi,
go on. Name another woman.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She's dead.
Okay. AOC. So that's,
What's her real name?
Let's move on, because it's not important what old Meatball has to say about different characters. I mean,
I'd like to...
it's just... oh, God. Really got me there.
Yeah,
scary for a second. I didn't realize this would be full of your typical liberal gotcha journalism.
I'm not gotcha journalism. I just want to know what you're researching. Are you going to school for it?
Who is that woman, Georgia O'Keeffe, who painted all of those flowers that don't remind me of anything?
Okay. The thing is, I think you guys are just. I think you're saying research, but what you mean is you're masturbating. I don't mean to.
Wow. In UCB terms, you just blew up the game right there. So thanks a lot, Kolar.
I blew
no more comedy on this show. It's all going to be dry Frasier-esque retorts. That's what you want at home, Frasier? Is that what you want?
I like
quality
Frasier.
Emmy-winning comedy. Of course, Mr. Hotshot likes it with his New York City dreams of success that he tells his child. But does he go to Chicago to chase love? We don't know. That's why they're doing a revival. So, and he's a Republican, so politics. Yeah, they are. They are doing a revival.
Shut up! No, you're just messing.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Messing.
More Niles.
They're doing a revival of Frasier. Isn't Eddie dead?
No. He couldn't. No,
you tell me the dog's 30 years old? It's a 30-year-old dog?
Yes, he was in that, and then he was in The Mask, and then he was Wishbone. And
that was 1992.
So
There's no way that dog's still alive.
He's fine, okay? All dogs are fine. All dogs go to heaven, but they don't need to because they live
What about that?
forever.
Wait, his dad's dead too.
No, he's an old dog, and like in the movie Roadhogs, he got, he's dead. He's good and dead. It's going to be hard to bring that back, but maybe they can bring on...
is a terrible drug addict, I assume.
The character, or...
I mean, they
David
drink a
Hyde
lot,
Pierce.
It's like they clearly have a drinking
Yeah, it's
problem.
just sherry, though.
Yeah.
They should use that for cooking, really. But
if you're drinking sherry, you have a very serious drinking problem.
So let's get back to this. So yeah, there's all these monsters, and they'll be like they'll throw down a card, and like it looks like a beholder from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what the equivalent is, but it's like it's got like it's big and round, it's got one eye, and it's got a bunch of like tentacles coming off with other eyes, and they're like, "Oh, look, a Google
Yeah, the Google Gorp. Or they'll describe it how you just described it. They'll describe exactly how it is.
Yeah. He's a round eyeball type monster with eyeballs.
Can't say monster. You can't say monster, kid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, damn it. This movie sucks. They do say this movie sucks a lot mid-production.
The kids are getting madder and madder because I think, if I was a kid and I was in a movie about Magic the Gathering, I'd be pumped. It's like, oh, finally, my big shots. They took the cards away. And then they're like, well, they here, use these cards instead. And, all your lines are changed.
The female lead in this movie didn't seem that excited. I watched some of the behind the scenes footage, and the girl who's like the lead, who's like his competitor and trying to win this. Like, the idea is that they're both trying to become the ruler of this other dimension.
The grouping master, which I assume was, probably a better title before they changed it.
The
master
like
of
the gathering
group.
lord or something, but they had to change it to the grouping master, which sort of just sounds like the groping master, which just
it also
does
just sounds
not
like
sound
something
great.
like some sort of office job. Like you're the person who groups everybody. You're the grouping master.
It sounds like what you'd say for whoever has to herd cats. Like you're it's like. It sounds like what we would call calendar, to be honest.
You're the grouping master. No, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to pay you, but you are the grouping master.
What's that, Kolar? Did you summon me?
Don't bring
me,
calendar.
Calendar.
I don't want you back.
I'm back from the dead, Smash Trivia. It's time to get a boner for me.
No.
Even though I'm yellow.
We have a restraining order against you. You're not allowed to be here. I will call the cops if you don't leave.
Oh, come on, Kolar. Everyone loves Calendar, the god of scheduling.
We had a restraining order for a reason, Matt, and he's breaking it right now, and I feel threatened.
If you guys aren't familiar, Calendar is the god of scheduling. He's like a Greek god who helps people schedule
things. It doesn't matter.
things.
He's off his rocker. He's unhinged, and he's scary. He's a scary guy.
Well, let me check the date on that restraining order to see when it goes into effect here. All right. This says it starts tomorrow, but I can't do tomorrow.
That's not what the judge said. The judge said if you try any of this again, he's going to try to hold you in contempt, and you'll go to jail for
I'm going golfing with the judge tomorrow. That's why I can't.
You're not going golfing with the judge, you lunatic. Your schedules are lies.
Okay, let's say we move this out 2 to 5 years, and that gives us all of eternity to record new episodes about me and this movie that I've concocted called Calendar the Amazing.
Nobody wants to see Calendar the Amazing. There's already been too many inside jokes in this show already. There's too many meta jokes.
It's the true story. No, you can never have too many inside jokes.
Yes, you can.
Besides, these inside jokes don't exclude anyone, not if we preface them by saying exactly what they are.
Yeah, Kohler, like I said earlier, this is Calendar who's the god of scheduling, so now we're all on the same page.
Sorry, I forgot.
So it's not really an inside joke.
Yeah.
It's not like Dee Dee suddenly shows up and then starts stabbing me.
If Dee Dee shows up, I'm going to be the maddest
Come
on.
Dee Dee, get out of here. You're another
Ow.
character from this show that I'm explaining who you are right now.
You really stabbed me. This is why
You're
we're
like a little fairy. Dee Dee's getting in her spaceship and flying away.
Anyway, I'm still here, and I'd like you to look at my movie, which is really good. It's about me, Calendar, the Amazing.
You'll watch it later. How about we watch it next time? We'll probably watch it next time if you leave right now.
Okay, I can't do next time. I can do now. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's watch it. I guess
let's
watch it.
Works
let's watch
for
this
me.
dog shit movie.
Oh, I actually have a conflict now. I just checked myself. My calendar, if you will. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. I have to pick my daughter up from lacrosse practice, and you know how she gets a little bit twisted on the sauce if I'm late. Bye!
Why did he also make a rocket ship noise when he was leaving? Anyway, let's get back to describing this film. So we got little Timmy and we got Jessica, who's like his, I guess sort of like, that's the thing is like they have sort of like a romance, you know, it's
romantic rivalry romance because they're both nerds. So it's like,
right. They're both outcasts. She's like a goth girl who got rejected from the cheerleaders for not
she's
being
like me. She just
conformist
she
enough.
likes collecting cards, but for some reason she's good at it because like she's not stupid like me.
I saw her as like a charismatic figure.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying comparatively.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. That's why it's weird that she likes Timmy.
No, I'm saying I think like compared to you, you're more of a Timmy, and like maybe I'm more of like the cool goth chick who's just misunderstood because she's smart like Daria.
I thought you were like, I thought you meant like we have a will they won't they sort of thing going on.
Oh yeah, I mean sure, but I can't tell that. You can't say that with Babs around. She'll get real mad. It's the same.
I don't think she'll care. She'll just say, okay, whatever.
She'll be like, I know it's disturbing,
I'm aware.
but
I've
used
heard
to
the
it.
podcast.
You've known each other since high school. This is
Get
your
new
own
friends.
weird thing. Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't care. She's like, you're like, Babs, I'm doing a crossover pod with the Quite Unusual ladies. What do you think of that? She's like, good. Leave the house sometimes.
Leave me alone. No, I'm doing the other room. So
We're doing recording at home, and then I have
TV now.
Dungeons and Dragons here for 4 hours. It's also with Matt, so. So yeah, you've come a long way from a little kid who played Magic the Gathering. Anyway, we have Dungeons and Dragons next week, so don't worry, don't forget about that. That's important.
No worries.
Anyway, unrelatedly, I had a dream where I was best friends with the kids from Stranger Things, so I'm pretty cool.
That's weird. It's a weird thing.
How is that weird?
You're just friends with them? Like you're in their friend group?
Well, yeah, we were all at Disney World together.
But you're your age and they're their age?
Why would I be their age? That's gross.
I'm just asking. It's just a weird. You guys are just friends. It's weird.
Yeah, we're best friends. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, our friendship goes to 11.
I like those kids. They're cool.
Hold for laughs. You know who's in that show?
Cool.
Friend of the show, Matthew Modine, and here he is right now. Okay, he has declined the invitation. He will not be coming.
I thought you were just going to take audio.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Wait, let's get. Okay, someone really quick clip that audio of where Gina Davis shows him her panties in Cutthroat Island, and he says, "Thank you. I've seen one of those before."
I've seen those before.
I'm not going to edit that in just because I don't want to have to watch any minute of Cutthroat Island ever again.
I know exactly what scene it is. It's at the 47-minute mark. 47:32 to be exact.
Yeah, but is in that real movie time or how long it feels to watch Cutthroat Island?
No, that's real movie time because I watched that scene a lot. Because unlike Matthew Modine, I have not seen those before.
That's why we both can't tell what Georgia O'Keeffe paintings are of. They're just so confusing.
Why would she paint something that looks so confusing?
Oh, I get it. It's purely abstract. It's like a Jackson Pollock, except those look like big dicks to me, those streaks.
Yeah, Jackson Pollock, that guy painted so many dicks, dude. What is this?
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to our will they, won't they.
Yeah, will they, won't they?
So, maybe will they, won't they, with Timmy and Jessica. And so, yeah, they both are playing this game, and while they're playing this game, they get reached out to through like a magic portal that says this voice, this booming Calendar-esque voice comes through and is like, whosoever proves themselves the greatest at Sorcery the grouping will become the lead. What is it? Source gatherer? No, that's Divinity.
The grouping master.
The grouping master. The grouping master. And every time he's like, Timmy's like, wow, I love Sorcery the grouping. I found out why they use that same audio over and over. At least I think I did. When I was doing the detective work behind the scenes, there's actually an interview with them where they show the actress who plays Jessica's lack of enthusiasm, and also shows the kid who plays Timmy being like, he's answering a question. He's like really excited. He still thinks it's Magic the Gathering, and the interviewer is like, what do you think about the rumors that they're going to have to change the title to Sorcery the Grouping? He's like, honestly, I would kill myself if they changed it to Sorcery the Grouping.
And are you saying that That's the last thing he said?
I mean, well, I didn't... Oh my god, did he really kill himself? Let me look this
up. What
up.
does the IMDb say?
Okay, I shouldn't use keyboard shortcuts while the podcast is recording, because that could
You should. You gotta look it up.
That could cause errors. Okay, here, hang on. I'll look it up now. Okay. Little Timmy movie groping. How do you spell groping?
Grouping.
Okay, groping Little Timmy. Did not match any documents. Make sure all words are spelled correctly. Holy shit. I can only get one thing from this, and that is they have stripped his records from this universe because
delete him from this world.
Yeah,
because he
killed himself so hard.
Jesus Christ!
He probably
that's insane.
We can't confirm this, but since we can't confirm it, we can also not deny that he stood in front of a moving roller coaster and screamed "Sorcery, the grouping!" as it split.
Why did they use that audio? That audio is way better.
Oh yeah, it probably just didn't match his mouth.
Yeah, but also,
really
why would they be recording that? You know, the weird somebody was just recording him dying.
Yeah, although it did make for one of those like really, really disappointing roller coaster photos.
Oh yeah. Where it's like, oh, let's do something funny, and it's like, oh, that's not that funny. Now that I see it, I'm not paying $12 for that.
So they each have like trademark beast cards that they use, and Timmy's is often like this dragon. I guess they can't say dragon.
They can't say dragon. They say horned reptile. What is it? Giant? No, big horned reptile.
They say big horny reptile a lot.
Big horny reptile. Big horny reptile.
Timmy Wieners, the last thing I want to see is your big horny lizard. Get out of here.
Horny reptile with wings. You'll have to fight my...
She has some sort of like...
different heads on each head. One is a lion, one is a scorpion, one is a snake. That's what you'd have to fight, Timmy.
Yeah,
because they can't say chimera. They can't say chimera.
I thought it was chimera, but whatever. They
can't. I can't say it either. I can't say it either.
Because they have to say when they have to dub it in real quick, she's like, "Check out my cucaracha," and it's clearly a guy.
Check out my cucaracha. Essay.
And so the monsters collide, but they start to
just looks like, they look like two like if you like put two slideshows over each other. That's what it looks like the projecting on
they're just like filtered on top, so like two different backgrounds are intersecting in different ways. It looks like someone fucked with like a Viewmaster toy from when you were a kid. Like they just like jammed two slides in at the same time.
Thank you. Like... We'd like to thank our sponsors of Viewmaster, the only sponsor who didn't draw.
Yes, and if you want to be the group view master, you have to play. And then what's weirdest is that they tried to create the spin-off cards themselves, but even like the movie tie-ins were like badly packaged, and they're just like a rubber band full of hand-drawn cardboard. It was
also
really
that it's not the names aren't catchy. Like it's not something you can. You're just
the cards have to be bigger. They can't be playing card size because the names of the monsters are longer than the descriptions.
No one wants bigger cards. They're like, well, bigger is better. These cards are bigger, so they're better. And it's like, no, that's not the case sometimes.
And also, the rules of the game that they've invented to make them legally distinct from Magic don't make sense. Like the mana and stuff, they have just like glasses of water on the table. But if their ice is
bread and water, those are your health bars. It's bread and water, and it's a loaf of bread and a glass of water. And you have to drink it and eat it every time you get hit.
But if their ice melts, they like run out of health, or they like take a penalty or something like that.
Yeah, and if you, it's like chess. Like if you spill the water, you're out, even though it's like not your fault. It's like when you knock over the king.
Or if you don't use your manners at Professor Potato's table. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing.
Also, if you have terrible table manners, you're out because it's
if you put your elbows on the table, if you're not, they both have to wear bow ties while they're playing the game. It's like part of their, even if they're not wearing a shirt that accommodates a bow tie, they have to wear a clip-on like collar that goes around their neck with a bow tie. And if one of them takes damage, the bow tie spins and makes a little noise.
They're at the contest, and they essentially like they beat all these other opponents who are like they're just random 90s kids, like randy 90s stereotypes. And
one of them is a literal like goblin or gargoyle, or as this movie would say, slime animal
slime
creature
animal, or
walks upright.
well, no, they fight. Then they're then at the end when they fight each other, they're transported to the
but did you notice at the in the real world convention at the convention center, one of their opponents, who they say is just like Trevor Stevens, is just a gargoyle wearing a trench coat and hat, and he's like constantly he's constantly trying to play cards that are like the human. It's like, well, what the fuck is this?
It's their card game in there. I think it was I think it was supposed to be a joke. Like, oh, that's funny. They
really?
have human cards.
This movie had jokes in it? Fuck. I didn't think it was fair.
They weren't well executed.
I didn't think it was cool or fair that when Jessica didn't drink her water, or she choked while on an ice cube and then like coughed it up, that she they made her sit in a cage. And then, everyone pointed and laughed at her and said, goth girl in a cage.
It's just the 90s. It's like Napoleon was cool in the 90s. It's not anymore.
And then he, stands up for her, and he's like, hey, she should only be put in this cage, not pointed at and laughed.
And they go, ooh, why don't we put you in the cage, too?
Yeah, it starts a whole thing between, and then the next time they fight, their monsters, when they overlay them, they start playing romantic music and put hearts on the screen. But it doesn't the monsters aren't doing anything really romantic, are they? I guess they're overlaid in a romantic way.
It was so weird. And then when they were, that was so weird. But then when they're they're transported. Secretly, they're transported to an actual magical world. It's like they were not supposed to be transported there, but it's the bad guy who does it is just named Sauron. How do they have the rights to that? How do they not get sued for that?
Yeah, that was really weird.
It's just Sauron. It's just a giant
really
eye.
Weird. He's just Sauron.
It's fucking weird. Because he wants to see the best,
but he's still low budget
battle?
because he has the big red eye, but it's just taped to his forehead, and they make him like a Cyclops who also looks like Sauron.
Yeah, it's a Cyclops. It's like a tall basketball player Cyclops. He's just a tall guy.
He looks like My Giant, with who they put a big facial mask on.
It could have been that actor from My Giant, maybe. He was in everything.
Yeah, and he talks that slow way too. He's eating molasses the whole time.
Just full of molasses. Molasses.
This guy's full of molasses.
I don't understand it. So he wants them to fight to see who the real group master is, even though they were already fighting to see who the group master
right. Well, I think after the tournament, they say they can tell that there are feelings developing between them, because there's that one point where the monsters are in love, and to show that the monsters are cuddling together, they tilt both slides sideways, so they're just horizontal.
Yeah, it was like a Nala Simba moment kind of.
Yeah, but you could see the trees in the background of the slides also.
No, I'm not saying it was as hot or as well done as that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the monsters do that same Nala fuck me eyes thing that's really questionable.
Give me that fucking lion dick. Give me that hooked cat dick.
I've been playing the terrible remakes of Hooked Cat Dick. I've been playing, which is weird because that's also the name of one of the monsters in this that just looks like a carrot.
Oh no!
I don't know why.
Hooked Cat Dick.
I don't know why they called it Hooked Cat Dick. It's weird.
It's weird. I mean, it looked like a hooked cat dick, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
Guess who also has a hooked cat dick? It's me.
I thought you left on your spaceship.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I'll do it again. Goodbye.
I don't really understand how they keep blasting off when we are in a recording studio and clearly have a ceiling. It doesn't. It's the mall all over again. I don't.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of stuff about the show doesn't make sense. Anyway, back to this movie that totally does. But yeah, they can tell the wizard Sauron, I guess My Giant Sauron, can tell that they're falling in love, and he's got some weird Jedi rules about it. Is the group master cannot be a man of love, he must be a man of justice. This bias towards your enemy shows that you will not show justice in battle. And so he wants them to fight. What?
So yeah, I didn't understand what's happening, but you're describing what's happening.
It sounded a lot like the Jedi rules to me. It's like when they get into the real things of like what Jedis must believe in order to be good Jedis. I'm like, wow, you effectively made being a Jedi into a weird incel. I wonder if episode 1 created incels.
Maybe. I mean,
I guess that's volcels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's weird, and he doesn't make a lot of sense when he's giving out the rules. But they realize that they have to fight in order to decide, who's the real master of this realm. But when she finally gets the upper hand, she's upset from the previous match. Rearranges her. She can't call it a deck, so she has to call it a swippy card pile. I don't understand what that meant.
Swippity card pile.
What is that? Like, decks are common.
How do they copyright so many words?
They got so scared. That's what I'm saying. They got so scared of using words that might be copyrighted. I don't think they had the time to look everything up. This is pre-internet, so they couldn't just Google who owns what.
The director was probably yelling at her what to say at some point. Just swippity
card
pile. That's what it is.
Swippity card pile. Even she seems to be looking off to the side, and it's like, I'll use my swippity card pile. It's like Professor Potato. You're like, is it potato or potato? You're never really sure.
Changes.
But so they get into this fight, and she's like really hammering him with her giant non-beast animal creatures. And yeah, she's got like this new werewolf card that they call like furry dog hound man.
No, they said furry hound nightman, I think is what it was.
Furry hound nightman, which is actually the origin of the Nightman from It's Always Sunny.
He's affected by the moons, they said.
But they don't say moons either. They call it giant skylight orb at star time.
It's terrible, right?
Terrible. Like, who would have copywritten moon? I don't understand. It's like someone's
Elon Musk would.
That's true. Elon Musk is like seconds away from being the Tick villain, Shareface Chippendale, and writing his name on the moon with a laser.
Look, it says Elon. That's me. Now you can look at it all the time.
You spelled it wrong, you fucking moron.
Maybe what? Stupid.
You guys know Elon sounds like alien? Pretty cool, right? No, it's not
Elon's
cool.
the coolest guy in the world?
Yes, Bob.
Thank you.
How can you say I'm not funny when these guys I pay say I am? So
think about that.
He really is a genius. But yeah, so they get into this final battle with their werewolf and what's his? His is like horny dragon lizard.
Horny dragon. It doesn't matter.
And the monsters don't want to fight, Timmy doesn't want to fight either, but Jessica's like mad about being put in a cage. Typical woman. And
no, sorry. No. We're not like that.
I can't even do the bit. It's funny too, man. It's like, unlike a proud man who would love to be in a cage, or a non-binary who would be ambiguous.
I would give my left arm to be in a cage as a white male. Oh
my god. The confining freedom of a cage. It's just like, I know where all my freedom is. It's in this little parameter. That's so relaxing in this world full
You know
of
exactly what you have and what you will always have for the rest of the time.
Women always wanting more / not to be in cage.
The problem is what you need to do is get a cage with no bars. It's just a box. You just get a box instead of a cage.
But I use that for my transmogrifier, or if I tilt it on my side, my cloning machine. If I
get that, but what I'm saying is
it's when me and my pet tiger Hobbs, we go, on our crazy adventures and such.
Calvin probably became an incel too.
Calvin probably became Donald Trump. I think in his future he really looks like him. So yeah, Jessica basically pounds Timmy Wiener hard with her giant wolf Nightman.
Timmy Wiener's hard.
And she, the the wolf, and then Sauron's like, kill! You must kill in this world, and also the real world, and also I am Sauron, so remember that, and also best of 3, but the first rounds don't count so much. So remember, did you drink your water? I forgot that. It's like, you forgot that? Didn't you invent? Like, what? If the game's too confusing, that
he didn't drink the water. Like, he didn't drink his water, so it was like a technicality or something. That was the.
Yeah, it's the werewolf's about to jump out of again, this looks horrible. They make the werewolf like a claymation or a puppet or something. It looks like a weird plasticky puppet. And
I think it might have been a melted rancor. Like, I think it was kind of
and they just put a dog's face on?
They put a dog face on a melted rancor or something.
And he's like slowly stepping towards Timmy, and she's like, no, I can't, because I love him. Yeah, and then
she drinks her own water and she eats her own bread like really fast.
yeah, he's like, no. Yeah, for some reason that kills Sauron.
And
he screams,
he says, I'm melting.
No, and he just explodes.
He says, I'm melting, but then he explodes.
and then she's like, Timmy's like, wow, I never knew you loved me. And she's like, ew, I didn't mean you, nerd. And then she starts making out with the Wolfman.
She loves the Wolfman. That's who she's always loved. She's goth. It makes sense.
But she just got that card. I don't understand.
She's always loved him, man. Everybody loves him.
And then she kills Timmy anyway. She lets the Wolfman eat him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, someone has to be king of this shitty dimension," and she just lets him. That's for putting me in a fucking cage, you asshole!
Don't put me in a cage, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, and then she comes back with his body. And she goes, I brought his body back. That's what he wanted. She just lies. She's like, she killed him and she lies about it.
My best friend died. And then she gets all the sympathy from people in this universe. And and then she becomes class president. And everyone loves her, and she becomes really popular. And all the cheerleaders start to dress like her because
that's the moral is you should becoming popular is a good thing. I didn't know, like, you're not supposed to be the outcast.
Yeah, and then it's implied that like there was no magic and it was all in her head the whole time, and she literally just went to a warehouse and fed him to dogs because some sort of talking potato told her. It's a weird lesson.
It's a weird last scene where she's in a snow globe.
Yeah, she's like looking. She's like, now to go outside for sledding, and she hits this glass wall and it pulls back. And Timmy is holding this miniature snow globe with her inside it, but only he has one eye then, and he's really tall.
They really went off the rails there towards the end of that movie.
He's like, see you next time in the groupening 2 group 2 fun. And then he like winks, and then they start playing like, I don't know, it was just some sort of like Ray Parker Jr. song about grouping things.
Yeah, and then they literally just advertised, the whole end of the movie was just that on screen was just, come see the Groupening 2. Timmy will return in the Groupening 2 like a James Bond movie.
They didn't even give anyone in the production credits.
No, nobody got credit.
And then for some reason it felt like the credits were like pre-built, and they were showing all these like different Magic the Gathering products you could buy, but they had to blur them all out. So there are all these photographs where only like a third of them are visible. A kid looking really excited while holding up something that's just blurry, like this smeared Vaseline.
It was like, is this softcore porn? What am I watching? Is this a scrambled channel?
But yeah, that's basically Sorcery, the grouping. And so the lesson is, if you're feeling unpopular, just remember you can stage a Heather's style situation.
You can be the grouping master if you try your imagination to be hard enough.
Yeah, remember, popularity in the age of social media is the most important thing. And if you really want to get popular on TikTok,
you can buy it for $8.
a dead best friend named Timmy Wieners can't serve you wrong. Oh, also, it was fucked up that because if there really is no Wolfman, then she just had a big dog in the last couple scenes that she's always holding. Was she in love with the dog? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, probably.
Oh man. What a female dog. You know what I'm saying? Because
what would you rate this movie out of 5 realities.
Out of 5 realities, I would say that this movie is about a 3 out of 5. I like the potato song at the beginning, but otherwise, this movie was
That
a
was
total
the podcast,
nightmare.
not the movie.
Oh, well, then I rate this episode a 10 out of 10 for great singing by me. And the sad stories about your childhood were pretty hilarious to me, too.
I'm not going to rate this movie because I don't want to. How about that?
Wow. Oh, come on, Meatball.
All right. It's 6 out of 7.
And just in case you were OCD and really got upset that I didn't do the bingo bongo spinner at the beginning, I'll play that sound now. There it is.
Throwing the balls for no reason.
Yeah, right. Just in case you have you're a
Can
listener
you pick
who
one?
has like.
Just pick one.
Okay,
I'm gonna pick one.
I'll pick one. Oh yeah, you pick. You never get to pick.
Kalendar's big. What is he? Fuck, Calendar put his fucking name in here, dude.
All these say Calendar on them. He made
These
different
all say
movies.
Calendar.
That's right. Uh-oh. It looks like the game is rigged in my favor. Who's the real Sauron?
Looks like Team
Can't say
Calendar's blasting
Sauron.
off
We're gonna
again.
get sued. Tolkien's
Okay.
state is evil.
Let's just end with a song, I guess. Oh, I'm Professor Potato.
Calendar, can I jump on your spaceship and you can take me out of here?
I can't talk
See
to
you,
you
man.
right now. I've already blasted off.
Come on.
So I'm not even here.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave through the door.
Potato.